Oh, yeah! Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. As if you didn't know. The website at allamericangold.com. And welcome to Friday, man. Every weekend, man. By the time I get to Friday, I'm just like, I'm just spent. I'm ready for it to be over. I mean, there's just so many things to try to keep track of. Gold and silver continuing to rally here. This was pretty much anticipated by yours truly as the taper now officially going to start. The first day is going to be the 15th of November, and then they'll do it again in December. And then the plan, anyway, for the next 6 months till they get to zero. But don't worry, they didn't talk about interest rates at all. Yeah, because, why would you do that? They have no intentions of actually fighting inflation. As always, I'm joined with my partner in crime. Well, Jason doesn't like to be. It's not a crime. You don't like crime. Just my partner in all things that are wonderfully fabulous. Jason Walker's joining us from Colorado. He actually, and I'm not going to, try to embarrass Jason at all, but he actually left work a little bit early yesterday, and I couldn't have been happier. This guy, he puts the time in. That is for sure. So at least you got to spend a little time with your wife yesterday.
Yeah, believe it or not, she turned 2 22s yesterday. Yeah, of all years.
I'm going to leave the math to everybody else.
Yeah, boy, can you believe that? Of all years, that's how old she is. So we had a good day yesterday. Things looked a little rocky at first, and then we had a great evening. So yeah, I take time off. It's just if you like your work, it's a lot easier to be there and do it. So I enjoy what I do.
There you go. And today we had jobs numbers out today. We'll talk about that. It was a good number, but again, it should be a good number, right? October normally a big number because that's when you see the Walmarts and the Krogers and the Targets and the UPSs and the FedExes and the Amazons. Right, they start that hiring binge for the holiday season. A good number, unfortunately, and I think this is just what it's going to be. Still, well over now 100 million people that are of working age, not in the workforce, Jason.
Right. I what was the last number, Joey, had of job openings? It was like over 10,000. I mean, the jobs. Well,
at one time we got to like 10 million.
Yeah, 10 million. Yeah, 10 million. Yeah,
7 million. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I mean, there's no it's a broken situation, but there should be plenty. The way that it shows, there should be plenty of jobs. You should be able to go just walk into any place and just get signed up. But I don't think it's that easy, Joe.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than I think, but 531,000 jobs for the month. Hey, that's a solid number. They were looking for 450, and truth be told, that number was going to get beat from the get-go. But 531's decent. Wages continuing to be a mainstay, and again, this just blows apart anything transitory. Up another 0.4 for the month. So when you extrapolate that, you're talking about wage inflation of 5%, and probably rising because they don't throw in the bonuses, they don't throw in the extra benefits and all of that stuff. So it's actually more than that when you actually factor it all in. Unfortunately, the jobs were where we thought they were going to be: leisure, hospitality, retail. Things of that nature, waitresses, waiters, bartenders, clerks, stock boys, like warehouses. One of the biggest jumps in warehousing that I can remember in recent memory. They were saying that warehouse jobs were up 54,000 in the month. And I'm going to guess that's your Amazon, Walmart, and stuff like that.
Yeah, getting ready for the holiday, right?
Yeah, just holiday hiring, but good number overall. Wages, again, that was the hot number. The other thing that was kind of interesting in the report was, and I said not just the labor force participation rate, but the number of people still saying they were discouraged, that they had a part-time job but wanted a full-time job but couldn't get it. That number still at 8.3%. So that number was pretty high. The household survey only had jobs rising 359,000. So that was, close to the number, I guess. And then the last numbers in there, what were they saying? They upped August and September a little bit as well. So overall, a good number, Jason. Good number. Gold's likes it. Gold's up 11. Silver liked it. Silver's up 15 cents. Wall Street likes it as well. And I guess we'll see now as we get through the holiday season. Jason and I both agree. We think we're going to have a big holiday season. And then does the hangover effect start rolling in 2022, Jason?
Or does the holiday season actually show a lot of weakness and make things much worse? One or the other, right, Joe?
Gonna be one of the probably right. Either gonna be really good or really bad. I don't know which one. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be right back. 800-951-0592. I knew I had this number. I was trying to find it. Over 100,000 more people joined not being in the labor force. And as I said, now over 100 million people not working. And Jason, it's really simple. Wages, according to the data, up just a tick under 5% for the year. That's not enough. It's not enough. You want to get people back to work, you're going to have to pay. And I'm going to tell you right now, $15 isn't going to do it. Not when you have rents going up 20, 30, 40%. Not when you have food inflation skyrocketing, meat prices skyrocketing. Listen, just to fill up the car, I paid $3.85 yesterday to fill my car up. I couldn't believe it. And I got, the gas light went on at a bad time. I was too close to my house. Gas prices are more expensive where I live, but still, even the cheap place, $3.60 a gallon.
Yeah, and the funny thing about jobs that we don't talk about a lot is that who really hires full-time employment anyways? And how poorly can you treat those part-timers, because you can just interchange it with whoever walks through the door, right? This is something that we don't talk about enough, that it's a part-time job economy now, and you are easily replaced.
You bring up a great point, right? That leisure, hospitality, retail, believe me, the last thing they want to do is give you full-time, because at that point then they've got obligations.
Yep.
Right. Oh, now we've got to pay health care, and we got to pay better benefits, and you're guaranteed to work this many hours, whether they're busy or not. They love that part-time stuff, and I guess in that jobs report, that's the other thing too. Hey, you want more people to come to work? You got to give them more hours, right? Hey, 20 hours a week isn't going to get it done. So we'll see how things go as we normally do. So I'm going to go through all the new quote-unquote transitory, but they're really not transitory, wink, wink, nod, nod prices, car prices. Wolf Richter. He's Wolf Street does a great job. I talk about him a bunch of times. Average new vehicle prices up 19% in just the last 10 months. So, do some math here, right? Okay, so looks like it's going to be pretty close to, 24, 23%, for a year. That's incredible. New prices now over $44,000. You think back 20 years ago, right? It was probably like $20,000. Now we're talking $44,000, and that's just the run-of-the-mill vehicle, right? You're not getting the Lariat package and all the bells and the whistles and the cool rims and the upgraded tires and the seat cushion that'll get you hot in the winter and cold in the summer. You're not getting that. Right? That's it's got 4 wheels and 4 doors. There you go. $44,000, Jason. Yeah. Buying a car. I mean, we're living in a time now, Joe, where a used vehicle, used to be, hey, year after year, your used car goes down in value. Wear and tear, and but now used cars are going up in value. We just had our advertiser on yesterday. On one of the breaks, he was telling me about how Ramsey Auto Group,
and man, he was talking about that vehicle my wife sold. Yeah, it was worth more than we bought it 3 years ago.
I mean, it's really incredible as car prices continuing surging. And remember, the Fed. Think about this. Like 4 months ago, Jay Powell gave himself a big pat on the back about his transitory comments, and he cited car prices. Because they went down. The car prices went down for like 5 seconds.
Oops.
And then bam, right, all the way. And it's just same thing. Lumber, remember he did a party about lumber prices, same thing. I bet you we've talked about fertilizer more in the last week than I probably talked about fertilizer in the first 20 years I've been doing this. And today we're going to talk about it again. A shortage of nitrogen fertilizer is getting so bad that farmers in the U.S. won't be able to get what they need for their fields in the very near future, according to CF Industries. They spoke on their earnings call last night. Okay, so this is right here, U.S. So, remember yesterday we talked about the fertilizer, and it was European, one of Europe's largest fertilizer places. This is right here at home. It is the owner of the world's largest nitrogen facility. And they said that they've had to that farmers are going to have to scale back fertilizer applications, and it's going to lower corn yields, and it's going to be pushing prices up even further. They said that fertilizer is scarce right now because of high cost of energy and here's the funny thing. So they said, listen, natural gas, expensive. Coal, expensive, right? Whatever. Hydropower, expensive. But they said that's not all. Key raw materials have skyrocketed. Production being halted in Europe. Other countries like China and Russia are now restricting exports. They said that the United States, a major importer of farm nutrients, that it imports 20% of its urea, 40% of ammonium nitrate from Russia alone. And they're now saying that potash, urea, nitrogen, all of them have more than doubled. Some have tripled. And they're issuing a warning, Jason, that's saying that U.S. farmers are not going to be able to put the same amount of fertilizer applications on their crops because there's just not enough of it.
Correct, Joe.
I don't know what's worse. It's one thing to say, hey, I got to pay more, right? Hey, I got to pay more for fertilizer. That's one thing. That's not what he was saying here. He's saying, hey, I don't care what they pay. We don't have it.
Yep.
That's a different story altogether.
Joe, in all the years I've heard you do radio, I've never heard you do so much crappy radio ever. But yeah, crap has become very expensive nowadays. That's for sure. It's getting worse, and it's going to affect the food supply. I mean, when Joe hits something on multiple days, he's trying to tell you, the audience member, you better start looking at this because this is very important. This is a big red flag of bad things coming.
Well, and again, this is just, unfortunately, we've been warning about what's going to happen at the grocery stores, and we're starting to really see that play out. Here's the problem, though. This was, quote unquote, hopefully going to get better next year, right? Okay. Well, we had a bad time, but things are going to get better. And what they're saying is, at least from the agricultural side of things are going to get, not are they a lot more expensive. So the farmers got to pay a lot more, which just means what? Things are going to get more expensive. But now they're saying something entirely different. Hey, we won't have enough. So it's one thing to pay double, triple, quadruple the price. It's a whole nother thing entirely when they just simply say, I'm sorry, I can't give you any fertilizer today. And now farmers are going to have to, it's really a simple problem. What do farmers do? Well, you know what? I got 500 acres. I'm going to not plant 100 acres because I don't have the fertilizer, right? I'm not going to plant 150 acres because I don't have the fertilizer. And that just means there's going to be less product. Again, we already have inventories, Jason, at our all-time record lows. And now we're saying, hey, the crop yields next year are going to be significantly lower because there's not enough fertilizer. That's just the perfect storm.
And for me, it's even everybody likes to eat good quality food. The quality of food is going to go down too, Joe. Because it's like any business, you have to slash cost. You have to save a buck here, save a buck there. So you better believe that whatever corners need to be cut and lower quality foods are headed for us. So the quality of the food is going to be less because those corners have to be cut just for these guys, these business owners, which are farmers, have to make their business work.
How about this one, milk? They're saying that milk prices have only risen 4% year over year, and that's because a lot of the supermarkets use milk as a loss leader. In California, we got a lot of listeners in California, believe it or not. In California, they know the truth. California is one of these weird states with a lot of ridiculous laws. One of the laws in California is you can't sell milk below cost. So, and again, all of the grocery stores, they sell milk at a loss. Milk's a loss leader. They run the gallons of milk to get you in the store to buy everything else. But they're saying that milk prices are getting ready to get a lot more expensive as well. They're saying the average cost of a gallon of milk is up 26% since 2018, now at $3.59. Unless you live in California, then it's going to cost you a bundle more. But they're saying a number of factors at work, Jason. Number one is farmers killing their dairy cows because it's too expensive to feed them.
That's right, Joe. That's right. And also, I'll say this: this guy I was talking to, it was a thing I was watching on one of my places I go. Talked about the USSR when the wall fell, and they went into economic stress in Russia. They called the herds of their pigs and their cattle, and that's back in the early 1990s. And to this day, they have still never come back from it, Joe. 30 years later, they still don't have the cattle and pig herds that they had before their economy crashed. Scary stuff.
Yeah, it really, really is. One last thing, and then we'll focus our attention elsewhere, focusing in on the Paris Accord or the climate change meetings, whatever you want to call it over there. They're after the cow farts again, Jason.
Oh, no.
Yep. Public enemy number one. Apparently, Joe Biden's all happy. 105 countries backed Joe Biden's plan to cut methane emissions by 30%. And I'm just like, what? What is he talking about? I mean, are we going to make cows wear diapers? Oh, no. No, his brilliant plan, let's just kill them all. Let's just get rid of them. I mean, the price of beef, you think beef is expensive now? Holy smokes. Yep, they want to cut methane coming from cows by 30%. And let me tell you by when. By 2030.
Yeah, there it is.
I mean, let's face it. It's already really, it's 2022. For all practical purposes, 2022. So in 8 years, you're going to try to reduce 30% of the cow population? I mean, wow. I don't know. Where does all this stuff end? Who decides that this is even possible?
Well, I just said about Russia, Joe, and that was really the space race and the arms race in the Cold War was an economic war against Russia, and they lost. So here we are 30 years later, they still don't have their cattle populations that they should have for their country, and of course, meat is very expensive. Well, we're having some economic stress, Joe. Kill all the cattle. Sure seems like we're following this economic trend.
I've got $1 million, it may be $1 billion idea. Well, I'll share it with all of you coming up next. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Gold is flying here up 18.11 now. So remember, I've been telling you all along, we expected this rally, 1830. That's the number. We break above there, and then the rally's really on. Silver right behind now. Silver's up 25 cents here, $24, 15 cents and rising. Man, congratulations on the guys that got in on Silver Eagles. We pretty much sold out of them again, so we're back to out of stock there. Today, though, I got some good gold. Last day on 10th ounce at 245. 245. Just to let you know, gold is up $55 from the low on Wednesday. That's how quickly things are changing here. So I got 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles this last day here, 245. My guess is we're probably going to be 255, 260 on 10th ounce come Monday. I've got 25 $10 Indians. $55 off a coin today. $1,200 on $10 Indians. I've got 25 of them. That's it. I wish I had more. That's a great price on Indians. As you know, Indians always carry a bigger premium, and Indians usually are the lead indicator of a gold run when those premiums start to get bigger, which is what they've been doing. And then I've got 120s at $2,100 today at 800-951-0592. So once again, I've got 25 $10 Indians. They're regularly $1,255. I've got them on sale for $1,200. So that's a big savings. We got those at the show. There's a big gold show, gold and silver show. I was telling you about it yesterday. We were able to get those at the show at a great discount, and then we're going to help out and throw a little more on top of it. So I got 25 $10 Indians at $1,200, and then I've got 120s, which is a lot of 20s lately anyway, at $2,100 today, Jason.
Excellent. Always, I mean, we talk. This is what we do. We sell gold and silver, so every day we're going to tell you should buy it. But this is a the good old days of the 1750 spot range on gold is going away, and when it's gone, it'll be gone. Just like when Brian and myself joined up with Joe in 2018, the $1,250 to $1,350 for a $20 gold piece. It's way behind us. So the $2,100 gold piece, that's going to be behind us very shortly, Joe.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's absolutely right. Bond yields falling again today, down to 146, and I expect that to continue as well because let's face it. The realities are it's a terrible instrument now. We've got 29 trillion, maybe 30. We don't even know how much debt right now. Hopefully sometime in December they're going to tell us. But let's just round up. It's at least 30 trillion and rising. And that doesn't count the 9 trillion the Fed's got. So really, let's just 40 trillion of it. It's not worth a whole lot of anything out there. But I think $1 billion idea, Jason.
All right.
I'm going to share it. Feel free to use it. Just like, my backup turkey for Thanksgiving. I mean, that's legendary, right? Though this is along the lines of a backup turkey. We've got to be able, somebody out there, to be able to develop, I don't know if it may be an enzyme or something of this nature that could be produced very, very inexpensively, that we could give to cows to lessen the farting. We can't do that. We can't figure it out.
I think.
Come on.
The four stomachs of the cow and chewing its cud and all that. I think that's just a part of cow biology. I guess what you're talking about is Monsanto needs to have a genetically modified cow.
Oh, no, okay, now. That's not what I was saying.
That's what's going to happen, Joe. You just unleashed it on the world. It's your fault.
I strike it. You're right, because that's what they're going to do. We're going to get a new cow that somehow only has 2 stomachs instead of 4. I don't know. But I'm just, you got stuff like we've got Tums and Pepto-Bismol and Gas X and, stuff for heartburn and all that stuff.
They don't release the gas, and then the meat becomes toxic. How's that?
I don't want that either.
If you can't release it,
I'm just a meat guy. I'm trying to save the cow.
If the cow can't release it, you've got to eat it.
All right, maybe it's not $1 billion idea now. Scratch that. Wait a minute. I didn't think it through.
Monsanto did it, and I'll look at the corn and the wheat and the soybeans we eat. They're all Franken wheat. It's all.
I'm sorry, I don't trust anything Monsanto does, and I've been nothing against that, but I never mind. You just blew it all up. It's not as good as the backup turkey for Thanksgiving. So,
unfortunately, Joe,
I'm trying to think outside the box.
The way it works, Joe, if God created it, man can't improve it, even though they try really hard. That's just the way it is. Gold is a perfect example.
Amen to that. Gold, I don't know. Gold's up 20 now, 18, 15, and rising. Silver, 24 and a quarter here. So more momentum here. As and this is all computer buying, the technicals and all that other stuff. Again, though, think about this. I mean, it could be as early as Monday. Are we going to break above 1830 as early as Monday? I mean, here we are. We're within about $15, $16 of it. So very possibly could happen here. Same thing with silver. I think silver gets above 25. Look out. It could be a very quick run back to that $28 to $30 range. And then, of course, for silver, 30 is that big number, right? Silver hits 30. Silver breaks 30. I think it goes right to 40. And there's an outside chance you could see 50. When we get back, Duke Energy. So this is another big energy company here at home. We've talked a lot about energy companies and fertilizer companies overseas. Today we're focusing here at home. They came out with a warning yesterday. I'll tell you what that means. Well, I'm sure all of you can probably guess. Patriot Radio News Hour. Get those Indians, get those liberties. You're going to be glad you did. We'll be right back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. We got 2 lines open. We'll get to you in the order that you called. The $10 Indians. I know they're going pretty quick. We didn't have a lot of them. We had 25 of them at $1,200. That's $55 savings per coin. And then on the 20s, $20 Liberties, $2,100 today. Gold's up another $20 this morning. 800 888-951-0592. We're right there now, 1813, 1814, in earshot here of the 1830. That's kind of the big resistance level. That's the last domino. If 1830 falls, we're going to see 1900.
Monday.
1900 falls, right? Then, we're off to talking about all-time highs again.
I think Monday, Joe. I think this thing stops where it's at, or maybe gets to like the 1820s, and then on Monday it gives all these big shot investors a chance to look at things calmly over their weekend, and then wait a minute, gold's almost there, so start to buy it. Buy it now.
We'll see what happens, because the charts have all the charts are now in the favor. It's so much of this done with computers. No one actually uses their brain at all out there in the world today. But again, if we're going to listen to Jay Powell and pretend that inflation's transitory, even though every report tells you otherwise, Duke Energy, they're big. So Duke, they're in the Southwest and Midwest, and they're really big in the Carolinas and Georgia and through the Midwest and all of that area there. They warned yesterday, again, as these earnings come out, it's very interesting what you can really learn from that. And Zero Hedge did a great job of dissecting Duke's energy report, saying that coal and natural gas supplies are going to be extremely tight this winter, and customers are going to face higher power prices. They have, and listen, Duke, they're one of the big ones. They've got coal plants, they've got hydro plants, they've got natural gas plants, they've even got nuclear, solar, wind, battery storage facilities. So they've got all of it. But when you talk about the Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, the Midwest, that's a big part of the population. Their CFO, Steve Young, said that coal and natural gas prices, the highest they've been in recent memories. He said it's been a while since we've seen commodity prices like this. And again, they kind of reference these anomalies. We talked about crude oil. Remember when it spiked to 150? And that was just, there was the big hurricanes came and production went offline, and Libya was in chaos and stopped export. I mean, there's all these little factors. He says we haven't even seen the cold weather factors yet. And he's very concerned when it really starts to get cold, we're going to see dramatic spikes in the energy prices. And again, this is what I've been warning you about. Says that, we have adequate coal and gas for now. The fall and winter has stressed a shortage of supply in the overall commodities market and forcing prices higher. Again, and it's almost every single item, Jason, where the inventory for, because when it gets cold, people turn the heat on. Right?
Yep.
Right now, the ACs aren't running as much because it's not 115 degrees. Right? But now all of a sudden, hey, we're going to start turning the heat on, and there's not enough reserve for what they're expecting the demand to be when that happens.
Right. And the more of these shortages you keep reporting every day, Joe, and I just think it doesn't have to be this way. And, this is false scarcity, but it's here. There's nothing we can do about it, Joe. The scarcity is here, whether it's false or it's real. And I know it's false. But, these guys that run this economic system, Joe, they know what to do to make enough energy for everybody. They know what to do to have enough cars and computer chips. They simply just don't develop enough, let's just say, oil refineries across the world to pump out the oil so that we can have $1 a gallon gas, which is what it really should be. Well,
and you bring up such a great point, but look at what they're doing. Look at all these
shutting
climate
down.
accords.
Yep.
Right. Look at what the banks agreed to over there in Scotland.
Shutting
saying,
down,
you know
yep.
what? We're not going to invest. And we're going to divest in a lot of these energy prices and a lot of these energy things and creating, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. We cut off a lot of the energy companies' ability to go out and get adequate supply because we want more wind and more solar and more this and more other things. And guess what? The first year, this is going to be the worst winter in like a decade, they say. It's going to be super cold. And now all of a sudden we're going to have problems. Duke Energy is warning already. Don't be surprised to see rolling blackouts this winter. I mean, that's incredible. Come on, really?
Yeah, 2021, rolling blackouts. Those two things shouldn't even be together, Joe. You talk about how technologically advanced the world is and how advanced society is, and we have rolling blackouts in 2021. It's ridiculous.
Patriot Radio News. Man, I'm glad this week is coming to an end. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint, Jason Walker wrapping up the week here. We've got about a dozen $10 liberties left here. $10 liberties. Or not liberties, I'm sorry, $10 Indians. I'll get it right. $10 Indians. $1,200. And that's really a good price. So that's $55 off. We were able to get some at the Gold and Silver Show yesterday. We got about a dozen of those left at $1,200, and then $20 gold pieces today at $2,100 at 800-951-0592. And Jason, we'll see what happens here. But again, it's just shocking to see
Berto.
all of these things happen, right?
Oh, sorry, Joe. I'm in the middle of doing some stuff on the show. Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man. I'm bouncing around the building in between breaks. Believe it or not, my workload is a little heavier than I thought it was going to be. So, Jack and I were trying to communicate, and I ended up being on the air.
Being on the air, okay. So, just talking about really now. Duke Energy's like, hey, you know what? There's not enough coal. There's not enough natural gas, and when it gets really cold, we can see rolling blackouts.
Yes.
We can't generate enough power. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We can't unload the ships, right? We can't. Now, the biggest fertilizer company in the United States, hey, might have a little problem here. Farmers we're going to run out of fertilizer to actually sell them. Forget about how much the price is. We just aren't going to have it. That boggles the mind.
You have to exact a little bit of fear so that you can gain control. That's what this is, Joe. There's a large amount of control being grabbed up right now, and
yes,
and energy.
If you want this
shortages.
all to end, roll up your sleeve and get your shot.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, your energy's going to run out. Oh, we better go green, or else at some point these energy blackouts that maybe it'll happen all over the world this coming winter. I don't know, but if it does happen, it'll be like, well, if we had green energy, this wouldn't happen. Why is that going to be the next headline you read in a few months, Joe?
Yeah, you're right. Yes, that's the problem. You would, and people don't even. There's not even enough land to build all the solar panel, to make up for the loss of power we're going to see. I mean, if Glen Canyon and Hoover Dam stop producing power, the amount of solar panels needed would probably have to take the whole state of New Mexico and just turn it into a giant solar plant to make up for that. I mean, it's and follow the science. Nobody wants, I don't know. I just think this is just it's going to be devastating. Listen, this is going to be the most expensive winter for food and energy prices, putting gasoline in the car, heating your home, feeding your family that Americans have seen, in decades, maybe ever. That's kind of what I worry about because, I look at how much money they created. Well, that just erodes the value of it. And if it erodes by what we created, we're still early in this inflation cycle, and I hope that's not the case, but it certainly looks like it may be. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. God bless everybody.